So Apple just unveiled their latest 3 iPhones for this year, and I'm gonna tell you right now, the iPhone XR will outsell the top models by a large margin. Hear me out why. The first and obvious reason is the price. The iPhone XR starts at $750 for 64 GB, which is not a lot of space, but just enough for the average Joe that doesn't take a lot of 4K videos. And even with that, Apple introduced their efficient codec, so the size goes down. So for a lot of people, the 64 GB is more than enough. If you're just gonna download apps and play Candy Crush and use Facebook Messenger, that's more than enough. Yes, more storage is nice for vloggers and people that makes video like me, but for the average Joe, that's more than they can ever fill with apps and even pictures of their cats. Now the top S model starts at 1000, goes up, and that's not including the fast charger. I don't know why Apple insists on not including it, but that's beside the point. So the gap is noticeable for a lot of consumers. I know that the XS models will also be sold in large volume, but not as the iPhone XR, as like I said, the average Joe needs the price to be down, not up. And believe it or not, a lot of Apple customers are normal folks. I used to believe that Apple only sells high-end machines and high-end phones for their fanboys, but no, the average moms and the average people also buy iPhones. Shocker. So now that we agreed that the price is a big factor in the normal average consumer's purchase decision, let's move to the second reason, which is the size. It is the perfect size. It's not as small as the iPhone X, the normal one, XS, and not as large as the iPhone XS Max. Little bit smaller than the iPhone 8s Plus, and that's the perfect size. The bezels are a bit thicker, but that's about it. It's the perfect size to hold with one hand, in my opinion. I used to hate large phones, but after using the Galaxy S8, I can now use them with one hand. So there is that. For a lot of people, that is the perfect size. Now, of course, there are some missing features from the XS. They're gonna have their exclusive features, but are they worth it? The first and noticeable one is the OLED screen versus the LCD one on the normal iPhone XR. Now, of course, the OLED models have more vivid colors and are better, but they also have burns in, while the normal LCDs are less brighter and less colorful, if you can say that. They are still good on the iPhones. Before the iPhone X, all iPhones had LCD and they looked beautiful. Of course, people like us, tech reviewers, or people that look for difference will notice it, but the average Joe, LCD ones are just as good as OLED. And the resolution is above 720. I'm using 1080 on my Galaxy S8, but 720 still looks amazing on the iPhone, and that's even above 720. So the normal folks coming from the iPhone 7 or 6s or whatever are getting a bump in quality and looks amazing. The screens on iPhones always look good, so that's that. Another factor is that the iPhone XS and XS Max will have 2 cameras as opposite to the one on the XR, but again, if you're not like me, taking a lot of videos, vlogging, doing YouTube videos, and generally like filming videos, that's not a huge factor. The average consumer would just take great photos and videos, and that's about it. The second lens is used for zooming, so if you like taking portraits and whatnot, you can now achieve it on a single lens cam, which is the same as the top range model. You're getting the same cameras on both models, getting the same bionic chip on both models, so it's not like you're missing out that much. The second camera is good for zooming and whatnot, but I imagine that not a lot of people use it every day. And not to mention, there are a lot of selection for colors. If you're into that, some people like the blue, yellow and whatnot, you have more choices, and the phone looks basically 90% the same as the top model. I know that 750 is a bit high for mid-range, but that's the thing. This year, the mid-range model is just as good as the top models. So I don't see a lot of people rushing in to get the XS and the XS Max for their top features, as both phones look about the same. Yes, previously released mid-range iPhones failed, but that's because the top range models had more features and looked better, and basically there were not a huge price difference in between. This year both phones looks the same. Yes, you're missing on a camera and OLED display, but that's about it. You have the same specs, you have the same, even better colors option and the size option. Those, in my opinion, are enough reasons to get people to buy the iPhone XR, as opposite to the top models this year, and shockingly will outsell the iPhone XS and the iPhone XS Max, marking the first time in history that a mid-range iPhone will outsell the top model. But those were my thoughts. Let me know in the comment section what you think. Are you gonna pick the iPhone XR or the iPhone XS, XS Max? Why? Like the video if you like it, subscribe for more upcoming content, ringing the bell, and I'll talk to you in my next video.